Sometimes people screw up. But when that screw up results in 10% of global shipping being disabled for about 6 days, people start to ask questions. You see, when the Ever Given cut off the Suez Canal in March of 2021, it became clear that the epicenter of global trade shouldn't be a tiny one-ship wide canal. But while there aren't many other options out there, Canada may have a solution. So, on today's episode of the Rooster Report, we're going to be giving you the inside scoop on how Canada may be able to outcompete the Suez Canal. But before we do, if this type of content interests you, we'd really appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, and smashed that notifications button, as it really helps the channel grow. Global warming is bad. Always has been and always will be. However, while most countries are struggling to find ways to cope with a potential climate disaster, in a strange way, global warming may actually help Canada grow. How, you may ask? Well, the answer is quite simple: the Northwest Passage. For reference, for most of its history, the Northwest Passage has been a cold, icy, 1,500-kilometer-long hellhole, located smack down in the middle of the Arctic Circle. As a result, even after explorer Roald Amundsen managed to travel through it in 1906, most ships avoided it like the plague, preferring to instead use the much warmer Suez and Panama Canals. However, in the summer of 2007, the Northwest Passage became completely ice-free for the first time in its history, and this started to catch people's attention. After all, while the Northwest Passage may seem like a long and arduous route, for some businesses, shipping through it is actually much quicker. For example, if you happen to own a mine in the Canadian province of Quebec, there is a good chance that you ship your ore from Deception Bay. And generally speaking, a ship traveling from Deception Bay to Baiyuquan, China via the Panama Canal will travel for about 41 days. However, if those ships were to instead go through the Northwest Passage, the estimated travel time would be just 26 days, cutting off more than 2 weeks from the ship's travel time. When you consider that cargo ships typically cost between $5,000 and $7,000 per day to operate, the savings could come in at as much as $105,000 per voyage. But if the savings are so great, why aren't cargo ships making the voyage already? Well, the reason for this is because Canada hasn't put much time or effort into developing the passage. After all, the Northwest Passage is only home to 6 small ports, with none of them being developed enough to accommodate large ships. There is also little incentive to stop along the way, as even these small ports have little going on because Canada has strayed away from developing its Arctic oil fields in favor of developing its more populous southern regions. However, the situation seems to be changing. That's because in 2021, a study by the Arctic Council found that between 2013 and 2019, the Northwest Passage experienced a 44% increase in shipping. While most of the ships passing through it were Canadian in origin, there was also a marked increase in ships coming from Europe. And this indicates that in some situations, it may be quicker for European ships to use the Northwest Passage than it is for them to take the Suez or Panama Canals. Now, to be clear, it should be noted that the amount of ships that go through the Northwest Passage per year is tiny. For reference, while 18,880 ships passed through the Suez Canal in 2019, just 160 passed through the Northwest Passage in that same year. While these numbers may seem discouraging, Canada does have 3 things going for it. Firstly, the truth of the matter is that unless there is a dramatic turnaround in global warming, the Arctic will continue to melt, and this will allow the Northwest Passage to be open for more months per year. This would not only make it a much more sustainable shipping route, but would also make it able to accommodate far more ships, as while the Suez and Panama Canals typically only hold about 40 ships per day, the Northwest Passage could potentially hold thousands so long as the ice continues to melt in the area. Rather ironically, the Northwest Passage could also be a lot more environmentally friendly than, say, the Panama Canal, because if ships can pass through the Northwest Passage more quickly, they would be burning far less fossil fuels, so long as the amount of trips back and forth did not increase by too much thanks to the efficiency savings. As a final note, Canada is also much better off diplomatically than the United States in many areas. After all, Trump's years of pulling out of international commitments and calling other nations, quote, shithole countries, has damaged America's reputation abroad. And if Canada acts fast, they may be able to capitalize on this before Biden attempts to mend America's foreign policy. Therefore, while the Northwest Passage has a long way to go, there is a chance that it could become a great economic tool. Yet, if Canada wants to develop the Northwest Passage, they will have to stand firm against their one main Arctic opponent, the United States. You see, under the Trump administration, the United States began to make claims on the sovereignty of the Northwest Passage, stating that because ships have to pass alongside Alaska, the United States should be able to determine who goes in and out of its waters. The United States has also taken part in a lot of fear-mongering, with Dr. Michael Byers of the University of British Columbia claiming that the Trump administration consistently spread misinformation about Chinese and Russian influence in the region, making it seem like it was a lot more prevalent than it really was. Therefore, if these claims of sovereignty continue under the Biden administration, Canada may decide to avoid developing the Northwest Passage altogether. The final sticking point surrounding the development of the passage is the environment. After all, while ships may be able to travel more efficiently by using the Northwest Passage, the ecological impact of having thousands of ships going through the Arctic's waters would be massive, and the amount of pollution that would be generated in order to build up the Arctic's ports would be nothing to sniff at. This is not to mention the fact that the indigenous people who live there would have their lives changed drastically, as a lot of their traditional hunting grounds would likely be destroyed. Therefore, while the Northwest Passage does have potential for the sake of the planet, it is probably best that it remains relatively dormant. That's all we have for you today, everyone, and thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what you think Canada will do with the Northwest Passage. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notifications button so that you never miss out on any of our latest videos. Until next time.